We're in Charleston, South Carolina at the warehouse for GrowFood Carolina. I'm speaking with the manager here, Sara Clow. Sara, this is a part of the Coastal Conservation League. Explain how their vision fits in with this organization.
That's great. Thanks, Amanda. So the Coastal Conservation League started a sustainable agriculture program in 2008. And they were visionary in understanding the direct relationship between agriculture and conservation. So they started the Sustainable Agriculture Program, and as they moved along, what they really decided was the best way to help farmers stay on their land so then that land wouldn't be developed was to literally help the farmers make sure that they were economically sustainable. So they looked around for a few different models, and at about the same time, we were donated this fabulous building. And so the building kind of hit the go button. And they were looking at different models of food hubs, which is what we are, and the gap that they discovered between the farmers and the market was that the local farmer's product wasn't getting to the local market. So they decided to bridge that gap by creating a food hub. And that's about the time that I came into the mix. Coastal Conservation League, amazing organization, started in 1989 by Dana Beach. And although they understood the direct link between the two, none of them really knew anything about produce.
The exciting thing about Charleston is you had an explosion here of local restaurants, of people who wanted to have that connection with the local growers.
Exactly, the demand is there.
But they needed to get things from so many different people.
Right.
And so what you've done, I think, is create the infrastructure that sees that there's one place where you could actually park in Charleston where your growers can come, and then you have this huge staff that's getting the things out to the people who want it. Exactly. So let's talk about how that process works.
Yeah, so we look very much like a traditional wholesale produce distributor, but we're really a service organization for farmers. We provide services and infrastructure for the growers so they can really spend as much time on the farms as possible, so the crops are where they need to be, so the quality is good, so then the buyers are getting the best quality, the best produce they can get. So our ultimate goal is to build a consistent and diverse supply of local produce for restaurants, retailers, and institutions. So we are wholesalers.
So you do supply, of course, what we think of in Charleston as just the most wonderful thing in the world, the finest restaurants in the world, but you also have local large grocery store chains that are using your produce, and then also institutions, and that could be a major source of growth.
Major source. And so the institutions right now are a smaller piece of our business because we had to build supply. Right, so there's a lot of amazing specialty growers in South Carolina, but some of them are fairly small and really weren't ready to take the leap of getting bigger and growing different products until they knew the market was there. And so we provided the market is here. Let's really expand the specialty agriculture in South Carolina because so many people want it. And so the institutions, as you know, require a fair amount of supply and some different food safety regulations and things of that nature. So we were 5 in October, which was very exciting. And we've now gotten to the point where we have that good supply, and we have assisted farmers to get their certain food safety protocols in place that they need to sell to those institutions. And so we're very excited. We've been working with the College of Charleston for a number of years and just added Charleston Southern and the Citadel. We also work with some corporate cafeterias. We've got a wonderful Google cafeteria up here north of us, and some smaller businesses like that. So institution is a huge area for growth.
And I want to give a little shout out to some of my partners because you said that a couple of the Clemson Extension agents have been a help to y'all.
Definitely. So Tony Melton, in the very beginning, even before I was hired, really made a lot of amazing inroads with some of the farmers that he's been working with. And then Zach Snipes, who is the extension agent right here in the Low Country, has just been amazing in the last 2 years about really kind of understanding what we're doing and how it's going to help the farmers. So our farm coordinator, Jake Sadler, and Zach spend a lot of time on trips together with the farms because they're then kind of providing the whole package. Zach's providing the technical assistance, and then Jake's providing the marketing assistance. So it's a wonderful relationship.
And you have to know where the food is going. There's no point in growing something if you don't know where it's going.
Exactly.
So that brings us to this wonderful staff that you have here, sitting on the phone all day. So let's talk about those groups.
So it's great. When we opened the doors, I was the only full-time employee, which was a little bit crazy. I ran around a lot. I still do. But now we just hired our 10th team member, which is really exciting. And we have a wonderful team. They are roughly split up between warehouse operations and distribution, and then the sales and marketing team. So warehouse and operations, talking to the growers, when are things coming, when are they leaving.
The growers make deliveries right here to you.
They make the deliveries right here to us, and then we aggregate everything in our coolers, and then the sales marketing team goes out, they're talking to customers all the time, bringing samples, talking about demand. We provide some point of sale material for the retailers to get the pictures of the growers up and things of that nature. And then we do distribution Monday through Friday, 5 days a week, to all of these fabulous customers. And then, you know, day after day.
So if one of the restaurants gets a box, that box came directly from the grower and they know who it is, so they can let their customers know this is from this part of the state, this lovely farm family.
So that's another thing that really sets us apart. We do something called single source identification. So every box, every invoice, every bill of lading, everything that we communicate has the grower's name and the town where that product was grown. So really we want people to understand that GrowFood Carolina means local, but we really want the buyer to make a connection to that actual grower. That's the value that we add, and that is really what will, you know, kind of move this local system forward.
Well, we do want to see that the farms, be they half an acre, a new farmer, or be they a more traditional farmer whose family's been farming for generations.
Exactly.
We do want to see that land stay in agriculture. And how much have y'all been able to return to the farmers?
So since we opened in October of 2011, we're just over $3 million that we've been able to return to the farmers, which we are very proud of.
And that's local money that's staying here in the local economy.
Yeah, exactly. So less than 10% of what we eat in South Carolina is grown here, and so the opportunity that we have to increase that 10% to 12 to 15, and then all of that money that stays in the state with the farms on that land, it can just make such an incredible difference.
So y'all dovetail with the Commissioner of Agriculture, South Carolina Specialty Foods, and Certified South Carolina.
Correct.
All of us are working together to see to it that we are creating a market for locally produced food.
Definitely, definitely. And I really, I see the potential growing and growing as we go. So it's been very exciting.
If people want to know more about what y'all are doing here, what are the different ways we can find out about y'all?
Well, we have a wonderful website, growfoodcarolina.com. It's got a great little video of what we do, which we really like to share. It also has a list of the farmers that we're working with and all of the outlets where you can find GrowFood Carolina product and the local farmers product. We call it Find the Fork because of our logo. We have a wonderful Instagram and Facebook following. Those are just GrowFood Carolina. So we love for people to stay interested in what we're doing, and we try to teach people about what the farmers are doing as much as we can.
I want to thank y'all for what you're doing to see to it that the low country of South Carolina and all of South Carolina stays the way that we like it, that is a place where our local farmers can have a sense of community and know that there's a future for them.
Well, I really, really appreciate you all coming down. It has been a real pleasure.